Hello everyone, welcome back. In today's video, we will be building the footer section for our Shopify theme. This is a crucial part of any website as it provides visitors with the key information and links. Our goal is to make the footer highly customizable, allowing users to add social media links, a subscription form, a logo, a store description, menu links, and even copyright text. Before we dive into the coding, let's talk about what we are going to achieve with this footer section. The footer will have various customizable options so user can make it truly their own. Some of the key features would include social media links, a subscription form. Actually, we don't have in the Figma file, but we will definitely add that. A logo and store description, and we have this store description. We will also have option to add logo here. Menu links, like we have shop and return policies, and customizable copyright text that we have at the bottom. Today we will focus on setting up the basic schema settings for these features. This is the foundation we will build upon in the next video, where we will dive into actual design and implementations. So let's get started. Open your code editor, and in the code editor you have footer.liquid file. You can see I have already created some basic schema settings. I believe you are familiar with these settings because we used these similar settings in the previous video. So we have option to add background color for the footer and font color, and we have desktop padding and padding for the mobile devices. Here I have a div, not div, actually footer tag with the ID footer, and I have added some CSS also, where I'm adding the desktop padding and background color, and we have this media query, and we are using mobile padding here. Now let's add some additional options. So our first setting would be allow user to show or hide social media icons. So let's add that settings. So it should be type checkbox with an ID, show social, and the default value is false, and the label is if you want to enable social media or not. And then the next settings that we are going to use is for copyright text. So this will also be a checkbox where we will allow user to choose if he wants to show copyright section in the footer or not. So the default value is true. So by default, and the copyright section will be visible. Okay, so the next settings would be for our custom Shopify text. So let's add that. The type would be a text area where user can like add multi-line text. Let's give this an ID, copyright text, and add label. Okay, so let's say copyright text. Okay, these are the settings that we have. Now let's add some blocks. Okay, so you are familiar with the blocks because we used these blocks in our last videos. Now let's add some blocks. We have different blocks, like if we go to our Figma files, we have a block for image, logo, and description. Then we have block for this navigation, and block for this navigation, and we will have block for our newsletter form. Okay, so let's create them. So our first block would be for our navigation. So let's add type. So the type would be linked list, and let's add a name here. So name would be navigation. Add limit also. Let's say 3. User can add 3 navigation in the footer. And let's add settings. So the first setting would be type text. So we are going to give a title here. Let's give this an ID of heading, and let's give the label of heading, and let's add default value to this. Let's say quick links. Let's add one more setting where type would be linked list. Okay, so let's give this an ID of footer nav, and then let's give this a label. Let's say choose navigation, and let's give this a default value. Let's say footer. Okay, this footer navigation is, if you go to our navigation section of your store, you can see by default we have 2 navigation here, main menu and footer navigation. If you click on this footer menu, you will find that the footer menu has handle of footer. So we are assigning this footer menu to our this settings. Okay, so this is our first block, and let's add one more block. So where, let's say type would be an image. Okay, so let's add the name here, image, and let's add limit. So limit would be 1. Okay, now it's time to add settings. Now our first setting would be for the image. So we are going to upload store logo for our footer. So let's add type. So the type would be image picker. So let's give this an ID of, let's say, image. Let's add label, choose image. Okay, so the next settings would be for our store description. So this would be a short description. I'm gonna paste that setting here. You can see we have type rich text, ID store description, and default values in the paragraph. Because we are using rich text here, you can add HTML tags, and we have store label. Okay, and the next setting is for the image. We will allow user to choose the size of the image. So we have already done this for our header. So the settings are the same actually. So we have type range, ID, image width. Okay, so the next block that we have is for our subscription form. Let's give this a type of checkbox and give this a name. of, let's say, newsletter, and then let's add a limit here. So limit would be 1, and let's add settings. So this will have just one setting, the title actually. Okay, so let's add that. So we have type text, ID of the newsletter, and we have default values, and then we have a label. Let's change this to title. Okay, so now we have set up the basic schemas for our footer section. So let's save this and check if we have any error. So you can see we don't have any error. Let's go to our theme customizable section, and here let's go to the footer, and you can see we have everything set up. We have background color, font color, plus we have blocks, you can see, and yes, we have everything set up. So that's it for today's video. We have laid the groundwork for our footer section by creating schemas that will allow user to customize every aspect of their footer. In the next video, we will start working on the design and implementation, so make sure to stay tuned for that. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel for more Shopify development tutorials. I'll see you in the next video.